Magandang araw. Salamat Tari. I am Jasper Ryan Mendoza, a public sector solutions architect based in the Philippines. Today, we will talk about AWS Organizations and how to manage multiple accounts in AWS. We can think of an AWS account as a resource container that has its own security, resource boundary, billing, and service limits. Now, why should you consider using multiple accounts? Having multiple accounts will provide the highest resource separation for your cloud resources. One use case for this is in the government. As we all know, governments have several agencies that wants to manage and provision their own cloud resources. With the multiple account strategy, you can easily provision resources exclusively for each government agency. Each environment has, in effect, its own built-in isolation that enhances security. This will also simplify billing. With AWS Organizations, you can centrally manage and govern AWS resources as you innovate and scale on the cloud. AWS Organization has several benefits and features. This includes the reduced complexity in managing multiple accounts, since you can centrally manage multiple AWS accounts. You can also secure and audit your environments for compliance. There are several tools available using the AWS Organizations. You can share resources and control access to accounts, regions, and services. With features such as service control policies, you can easily centrally manage the security of your organization. You can also optimize cost and identify cost-saving measures. AWS Organization supports the operational excellence and security pillar in the AWS well-architected framework. Now, let's proceed to the demo. This is the AWS Organizations Management Console. In the Accounts tab, you can see all of the accounts that are part of your organization. On the Organize Accounts tab, you can organize your accounts into organizational units or OU. In this case, we have the Development OU and then the Production OU. In the Policies tab, you can see all of the policies that are enforced on the organization level or down to the OU level or even down to the account level. Let's check all of the service control policies that we have in this organization. In this case, we have 3 SCPs. We have the full AWS Access SCP, which is the default SCP, which allows the full access of the account. We also have the Deny EC2 Terminate SCP, which denies the termination of EC2 instances in the production account. We also have the Deny RDS Dev in Prod SCP, which prohibits the provisioning of RDS instances which are in the single AZ configuration. So now let's test the Deny EC2 Terminate SCP. So let's go to the production account, which is part of the organizational unit in production. So let's try to terminate an EC2 instance. So we should not be able to do this. We have successfully terminated the EC2 instance. So that should not happen. So let's check in the production OU. Let's check the attached service control policies. So it seems that the Deny EC2 Terminate is not yet attached. So let's attach that so that that policy will take in effect. Now, let's test again if we can terminate an EC2 instance. So let's terminate this instance right here. Again, the expectation is that we should not be able to terminate any EC2 instances in the production account. It failed, so the SCP worked. Now, let's test the Deny RDS Dev in Prod SCP. So let's provision a MySQL RDS, which is in the dev test template and in a single AZ configuration. So again, this should not proceed. It worked. So the SCP worked. Now let's try to provision an RDS instance that's in multi-AZ. Again, the expectation is we should be able to do this. And it worked. So as you can see, That's how easy it is to implement or manage multiple AWS accounts using AWS Organizations. So, to recap, we learned why is it necessary to have multiple accounts in AWS. We also explored how to implement this using AWS Organizations. I hope this was informative and helpful for you. Maraming salamat. Terima kasih. Thank you for spending 5 minutes with me and see you again.